Yes? Take a look.
What do you need, my friend? You speak quickly.
I'm just a poor man trying to make a living. I'd leave Morthal were it in my power.
Greetings. Until next time.
My mother and father died years ago. Falion takes care of him now. I asked Falion if someday I could learn from the mages in Winterhold. But he
If
doesn't
you stand
like
before me to accuse me of sacrificing children or eating the hearts of the dead, you may save your breath. I have done no such thing, nor do I intend to. I simply wish to live my life in peace. The people of Morthal would much rather weave their own horrid tales about my life than simply ask me for the truth. If they choose to fear me in their ignorance, that's their choice, but it will not change what is true. Excellent. I think you'll be glad that you made this decision. Thank you. I'll be sure to put it to good use. As anyone will tell you, Morthal can be a dangerous place. My talents are useful here. I help maintain order, even if it goes unnoticed. The marsh is treacherous. You would do well to not wander at night. I had you figured for a mage. I think you'll appreciate this.
hokey, but Father says I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Are you a stranger? You know him? He made my favorite dolly, but I can't find her. Are you sure you aren't a stranger? The smoke woke me up. I was hot and I was scared, so I hid. Then it got cold and dark. I'm not scared anymore. But I'm lonely. Will you play with me? Okay, let's play hide and seek. You find me, and I'll tell you. We have to wait for nighttime, though. The other one is playing too, and she can't come out until then. I can't tell you. She might hear me. She's so close. If you can find me first, I can tell you.
Finally, someone comes in. Kick off your boots, stay a while. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. I got nothing but time these days.
What can I do for you?
Make it quick.
I hear the steward asked you to look into the fire. There ain't much to offer, but if you want a place dry to spend the night, I'll rent you a room. The poor child is probably begging for us to string up her murdering father. Best tell the Jarl. Good day.
You want something to drink?
Is Hrogar innocent or not? The spirit world is strong in this place. Look to the graveyard. That is where you'll find her. Hrogar's fate is in your hands.
Have you seen Leolette? Have you seen my wife?
Never should have come here.
You found me! Layla was trying to find me too, but I'm glad you found me first. Layla was told to burn Mommy and me, but she didn't want to. She wanted to play with me forever and ever. She kissed me on the neck, and I got so cold that the fire didn't even hurt.
Beard.
Layla thought she could
vampire.
take me and keep me, but she can't. I'm all burned up. I'm tired. I'm gonna sleep for a while now.
Leolette. She's dead. She's dead. Leolette is dead. Leolette. I thought she left to join the Stormcloaks. Oh, my poor Leylette. She began to spend a lot of time with Alva. Yet just a week before, she despised her. In fact, the night she disappeared, she was supposed to meet Alva. Alva told me later that she never showed up. I never got to tell her goodbye. You think Alva? But that means... Ye gods! You think Alva is a vampire? No, you're wrong. You must be wrong. Leylette may have met her fate out in the marsh. I refuse to believe Alva had anything to do with this. There is no way you can prove it to the Jarl. I hope Alva is not what you think. Have you found out anything about Alva?
Welcome. Let me know if you want anything. I think I got a clean mug around here.
Morthal doesn't need any trouble. You keep your nose clean, understand? There is, a problem, yes. I'm worried about Idgrid, and I don't know what to do. She is so lost in her visions, and it's only getting worse. I've looked after her safety for so long. If she can't tell what's real and what's not, how will she continue to lead Hjaalmarch? Yes, I suppose there is. There is a letter, one I have had for some time now. I think it is time it gets delivered. I cannot leave Idgrid's side, so I must stay here. Could you see that it reaches Captain Aldous in solitude? Thank you. Please, do not open it. It is... private. Until next time.
Ingard, a woman of your sizable assets should
Look
not be
alive,
without
will ya?
protection from the local
What you want, stranger? I have a date with the marsh, and the chorus that calls it home. Ha! Don't worry. I'll make sure your cousin gets plenty of exercise before he chews my leg off.
Why, good evening, Yana.
What can I get you,
Ha!
Alva?
Then let me make sure you carve it correctly. I apologize for giving you such a hard time, but
No,
you
I don't
adventurers make such easy targets.
Not now, at least.
Greetings, brave traveler. My clan once knew me as Anum-la. The fighters I stand beside, however, call me the Swamp Knight. Well, it's a short story. I carry a sword. I'm from the swamps of Black Marsh. Do you need me to continue, or can you piece it together from here? You're a clever one. Saw right through my glib response. All right, I'll tell you. But it's a long story, so you might want to sit down for this one. I was hatched in a small tribal village, lost in the swamps between Thorn and Hellstrom. In other words, in the middle of nowhere. As the hatchling of a small and pitiful clan, I couldn't afford to travel to the city and train under the guidance of the tribal guard. You speak of the rootworm. Not a preferred method of travel, on account of speed. Smugglers prefer the secrecy, however. Nothing we were involved with in our little neck of the swamp. There were visitors. In fact, every few years, a recruiter from the city would come to the village and conscript those in the clan who showed promise. Only a handful of hatchlings were chosen. All of them were males.
Nails I bested in combat 100 times over. I figured the only way I'd be a soldier was to train on my own. So, one night, I went out into the deepest swamps with nothing but a hist branch. I committed myself to killing a feather serpent. On the second night, I thought I'd vanquish 3. By the first hour, my only goal was to survive. Somehow, I managed. I labored through the bog and hid inside a hollowed-out tree. I waited and watched for predators. And as I watched, I learned. I saw how the serpent camouflaged itself in the foliage, how the Leviathan waded effortlessly through the swamp, simply by refusing all effort. I saw how on bright days, the lizard used the Hackwing's own shadow to scuttle around unseen, and how on dark days, all creatures clung to the mist. By the time I was grown, I could slay 5 feathered serpents with a single slash and do it with my eyes closed. True enough, the name came when I joined the company of fighters, many of whom were celebrated warriors from all over Tamriel. There were members who served as honor guards for tribal chieftains, and those who trained under guild masters and various regiments of the Empire. There were even retired assassins from the renowned shadow scales of legend, but none knew of who I was, or why I was recruited to join the company. The truth was, I was never supposed to be there. I had found the invitation on a courier while traveling west toward Gideon. Undaunted, I told them the story of how I trained to become a knight. I used that exact word. In truth, I'd only heard the word knight in passing. But when travelers from strange lands used the term, their words spoke with a tone heavy with reverence. That's how I wanted them to speak about me. Naturally, the company laughed uproariously at my expense. They dubbed me the Swamp Knight, and I've been that ever since. Agreed. And while I had some anxiety joining such an esteemed company, I quickly discovered that I indeed belonged. That's an old story. Back when the Hrothgar monks had milk in their beards from sucking their mother's teats. Okay, maybe not that old, but old. I was traveling in Black Marsh with a company of fighters. We fashioned ourselves Honorable 8. We were an elite band of fighters, hired to do jobs common sellswords weren't equipped for. At first, I thought the honorable part was a joke. Our company was made up of liars, drunkards, and lying drunkards. But they were all loyal, and they were all honorable. They were good beasts, mare and men. It wasn't, but Dalum A founded the company to be good and do good, to wash all the grime that stuck in his scales during the war. As such, he'd only agreed to work that didn't diminish what we stood for. But contracts have a way of leaving out the details. We worked, and we did. The job was simple. Clear out a cave of necromancers that were terrorizing one of the clans that resided near the border. The clan said a hatchling had gone missing, and rumors were abound of corpses stolen for experiments, and live bodies turned into corpses. When we got there, the shadow scale Ulaway scouted ahead as the rest of us waited near the entrance. He found bear traps and tripwires. The occupants were further in, he said. Black-robed mages, chanting. The whole thing stunk like a Hjaalmarch's wet diaper. Traps or no, bandits usually post sentries in and outside the cave. The Nord, Arnwolf, though, he got tired of all the standing around. Black robes and ominous words. Good enough for him. Dalum gave the nod. Couldn't chance it. Some poor hatchling could have been on a table, about to become some sick bastard's war puppet. Sadly, no. The child was on the table like Ulaway said, but she was already dead. The people around her were mourners. Black robes. They were refugees from Cyrodiil, Altmer, Khajiit, and Argonian, driven from Leaween. To the clans, they might as well have been wraiths. I don't know who struck first. It didn't matter. We killed them all. Well, all except one. It was an Imperial boy, hiding in a small crevice in the rock. I didn't know who he was, or if he was even with the refugees. The boy was a mute. Part of me thought it would be better to slay him, but another part of me saw the hatchling in the swamp, just trying to survive till morning. The company disbanded. Honor brought us together, and dishonor drove us apart. Me and the healer, Elia, went north. The boy, he followed. We split up in Bravo. Don't know why he chose me. Seems to me he was better off with a Breton. But as I kept going north, he never left my side. I don't think Elia would have wanted him around either. Males grow squeamish at the mere talk of children, let alone the sight of one. I kept going north, figuring at some point the boy would stop following me. Gotta give it to the little runt. He had courage. Eventually, I realized I could have walked right into the sea of ghosts, and the little Histcarp would have dove right in. I was halfway through the marsh when I decided to head back to Morthal. I turned to the pesky urchin and told him, "All right, you win." Imagine my surprise when I found myself talking to a patch of death bells. There was no one there. Some may ask why I'm a knight without armor. Others contend I wear the mourner's clothes to honor the brave warriors I slay. Those in my company will tell you I wear it to mourn the refugees who died that day, and all the innocents who die in the pangs of war. I will tell you that there's only one thing in this world I truly mourn. My sanity. Ha 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 ha! Yes, there was Arnwolf, a former member of the Fighters Guild in Cyrodiil, a big Nord man with an even bigger laugh. In contrast, Ulaway never said a word. He was a retired shadow scale, and the only noise he made was when he sharpened his daggers. Moontail was a conjurer who conjured monsters as quickly as he conjured lies. And Elia, a Breton healer whose lust for man had no cure. Then there was the Bosmer Indrel. Lazy girl, that one. When we made camp, she slept in the trees, but always with one eye open. There was a red guard named Bodon, a man whose gift of strings and tongue once earned him a place beside an Argonian tribal chief. And lastly, our leader, Dalum A, a legendary swordsman who fought in the Great War. I used to tell Arnwulf he was ugly enough to be one. Ha 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 ha! He never laughed so hard. We used to ask Moontail which clan he was from, and every day it was a different clan. Twice he swore that we were hatched from the same mother. How dare you forget your own sibling, he'd say. Dalum A never told us who the conjurer was, but according to him, Moontail had already told us countless times. There were truths in every lie, parts of different stories that told the same tale, and if you pieced it all together, you would know. I remember when Arnwulf used to get drunk. He and Elia would fool around a bit, but one time he had a little too much and got a little too brave. Half naked and beer soaked with saliva, he climbed up the tree Indril was sleeping in. Ha! I've never heard such a high-pitched scream. Moments later, Arnwulf slumped down the tree, a gash running across the breadth of his face. He ran to Elia, of course, but she refused to heal him. We never did find out who let out that scream, although we all suspected it was him. Ulaway never spoke much, but when he did, people listened. Even Arnwulf trusted him, and I've never known an Nord to heed the advice of a lizard. He strode through the swamps like a cold breeze, and I realized how clumsy I was in comparison. That is, until a week after we boarded a ship for elsewhere. The Khajiit Lord had heard about peace and commissioned us for a job in Hjaalmarch. Ulaway was our scout, and by tradition, he always went first. But when he placed his feet on that desert sand, he started to wobble, and his tail lashed recklessly. I couldn't believe my eyes. He was struggling for balance. I've seen drunken jesters with more grace. The poor fool came to the desert and thought he didn't need any boots. On dreary nights, Bodan would lift our spirits with a song. And when he sang, our spirits would indeed lift, provided Arnwulf didn't join him. But on some nights, when he thought everyone was asleep, he would drift out into the swamp, where only the gods and the Hist could hear his tune. He would play a song that wasn't part of his normal routine, a solemn dirge about a lost love, a song so sad it moved the trees to tears. As opposed to going backwards? I haven't thought about it, but your company makes me long for the old days. In truth, I only came to Skyrim to rid myself of that urchin. Now that I'm here, maybe I'll adventure for a bit. Or maybe I'll forge a new legend, right here in this adorable little puddle the Nords call a marsh.
Hurry up an order. I ain't got all day. Farewell. How can I help you?
I hear you put Laylat out of her misery.
You want something to drink?
I hear the steward asked you to look into the fire. Now there's a mystery. She ran away when the war started. Her husband Thonir was devastated. No note or nothing. I'm pretty sure she up and joined the Stormcloaks. Yeah, mm-hmm. There ain't much to offer, but if you want a place dry to spend the night, I'll rent you a room.
Well, aren't you the pretty one? I bet all
I'm
the
waiting.
men chase after you.
Mm-hmm.